This submitter was driving his Model 3 in Toronto, Canada, when the driver of another Tesla in front of him crashed into a boat. Another vehicle that was pulling a boat on a trailer made a quick lane change into the lane where the Tesla was traveling. The Tesla drove up on two wheels before the trailer and the boat smashed into it. The driver of the boat behaved very erratically and kept yelling at the Tesla driver. Eventually, a transit officer showed up to de-escalate the situation. The submitter shared a copy of his Teslacam footage with the other Tesla owner, and they haven't heard anything else about the incident. John was driving his Model 3 in Tampa, Florida. While waiting at a traffic light, he heard a loud crunch. He managed to shift into reverse and back up just before another car's front tire landed on his Tesla. John says this particular intersection is infamous for accidents because it's a popular location for speeding and it's hard to see around the corner. The driver of the red car who had caused the accident had no injuries and walked away from the accident. The woman who'd been hit had a head injury and was taken away in an ambulance. John ended up with a small scratch on the front of his Model 3, but he feels lucky because the damage could have been a lot worse. John waited nearby until the police arrived since he was also involved and had video footage. The police were thankful for the evidence. Taylor was driving his Model 3 when a wild wheel appeared out of nowhere. It bounced around the morning rush hour traffic on I-95 between Washington, D.C. and Baltimore. The wheel hit the car behind Taylor, and the cars and trucks braking for it caused a little bit of mayhem. Eventually, everyone came to a complete stop. Taylor asked us to give a shout out to his son. Hey there, Jack. This next clip from Ron is from the same stretch of road, I-95 between Baltimore, Maryland and D.C. He was driving his Model Y when he heard a loud noise. Ron could tell that the noise was coming from somewhere around the car, and he figured he was about to get sideswiped by a semi. Then he realized the sound was actually coming from directly above him. When he looked up, he saw a military Black Hawk helicopter through the Tesla's panoramic glass roof. He says it felt like he had a small heart attack as those things are super loud. He has no idea what their altitude was, but it couldn't have been more than a couple of 100 feet above him, and it seemed like it was in a hurry. What's really cool is that the helicopter was captured by every Teslacam angle. This goes to show just how well positioned they are. Yossi was driving in Brooklyn when someone crossed the street against a red light right in front of Yossi and a police cruiser. The cop fired up his light show and the guy just tipped his hat at Yossi's camera as if to say, "Hey there, wham bam." Noah had been working late and was driving home in his Model X in El Paso, Texas. 5 minutes away from his house, he couldn't understand why the Honda in front of him suddenly slowed down. To his surprise, a big black bouncy shape fell from the sky and silently hit the road just a few feet from his front bumper before vanishing over his car. Only after reviewing his Teslacam footage did he realize the stray wheel had jumped off the trailer in front of him, rolled into the median, then somehow made it back onto the road where it got some major hang time. Do you have any idea how this happened? Maybe it was hit by a car in the oncoming lane. Noah's thankful that somebody was looking out for him. This submitter was driving his Model 3 on a highway in Finland. He was overtaking a few trucks and driving a little faster than the speed limit when the Audi driver behind him got really upset. The driver of the Audi started tailgating him really closely, honking his horn and waving his arms around. After the submitter had completed the overtake, he switched lanes as soon as he could to let the Audi driver go by. But the Audi driver wasn't finished. Instead, he overtook the submitter and brake checked him. The submitter told us he's seen way too many Wham Bam videos to know that there's no happy ending to stories like this. With that in mind, when the Audi slowed down, the submitter lunged over and took the exit, evading the road rager. Preston's wife was shopping near downtown Denver, Colorado, and had parked their Model 3 on the side of the street. A person riding a bike was about to pass the Tesla when someone in a Toyota cut them off, causing them to crash land right on top of the Tesla. The crash caused the driver's side mirror to fold back and left a nasty scratch on the front lid. The crazy thing is that both parties just left without even trying to find out who the Tesla belonged to. Oh yeah, and the spot that the Toyota driver wanted to park in wasn't even a parking space in the first place. It was actually a driveway, which is illegal to park in front of. Caesar's Model 3 was parked on the street in Milwaukee, Wisconsin when a Honda that was attempting to park in front of it bumped into it. The Tesla's alarm went off, but the Honda driver and their passengers didn't seem to mind. They just continued unloading their car before taking off, effectively making this a hit-and-run accident. The Tesla was one of Caesar's rental vehicles on the Turo app. The renter hired a lawyer, and they used the footage of the license plate to contact the offender and charge his insurance. Caesar didn't press charges for the hit and run since this happened the day after Christmas and he felt like giving the person a break. Unfortunately, this incident had a long-term effect on Caesar since he makes his living renting out cars on Turo. This Tesla had to spend 3 months in a repair shop before he was able to rent it out again. Tanner was driving his Model 3 in Burbank, California. He was stopped at a red light when he felt an impact from behind. His first thought was, great, a Honda. It actually turned out to be a Lexus, and the lady driving it laid on her horn before getting out of the Lexus and screaming, "You backed into me." Tanner told her, "You hit a Tesla. I have a video of you rear-ending me." That got her to go back to her car and start wiping the red paint off her grill. When they pulled over and he showed her the footage, she admitted, "Okay, I did it." Tanner submitted an insurance claim, and the bumper cover on his Tesla ended up getting replaced. Kai was driving his Model Y on I-59 outside of Springville, Alabama, when he suddenly saw something in the lane in front of him. It was a trash can in the middle of the road. Unfortunately, Kai had to hit it since there was another car on his left, so there was nowhere for him to go to avoid it. He took the vehicle to a Tesla-certified body shop in Chattanooga, Tennessee, where they quoted him $1,500 for repairs. Brandon was exiting I-5 and merging onto a surface street. He waited for an opening, but the driver he merged in front of was not happy about it. They tried to get in front of him by using a right turn lane. Brandon didn't back down, and the other driver ended up merging in behind him. Mark was driving his Model 3 in Orange, California, when a kid on a bike rode against a red light right in front of him. Mark slammed on his brakes and swerved to the right, but the pedal of the bike still made contact with the Tesla. Luckily, the kid and his bicycle were unhurt, and the kid rode away, leaving Mark with a $4,000 repair bill. Mark is just glad the kid is okay. Ed was driving his Model 3 in Knox County, Tennessee. He was stopped at a red light when a car swung wide and sideswiped him. Ed felt the impact shake the whole car, but the other driver just took off. Knowing he'd caught the guy on video, he decided not to chase him, and instead he called 911 and reported the accident, along with the offender's license plate number. Carbix was driving his Model Y in Langley, Canada, when the driver of a Toyota ahead of him in the left lane brake-checked a lady driving a white SUV. Carbix thought that was a pretty uncool move and figured he'd return the favor, so he pulled in front of the Toyota and slowed him down a bit. Carbix meant for it to be a gentle way to confront the Toyota driver and give him a taste of his own medicine, but that's not how they interpreted it. Carbix drove off while chatting with his 3-year-old in the back seat, not thinking anything more of the Toyota. The Toyota driver followed Carbix from a distance, but when he stopped at the next red light, the Toyota driver pulled up alongside him. The driver rolled down his window and started throwing stuff at the Tesla. Carbix yelled, "Hey, I have a kid in the back seat." This didn't stop the Toyota driver from continuing to scream profanity at him, topping it off by spitting at the Tesla. Carbix filed a police report and included the Teslacam footage as evidence. He hasn't heard back from the police yet. Luda was driving his Model 3 on a winding road descending from a big Austrian mountain. In his rearview mirror, he noticed a bicyclist flying past cars and catching up to him. Let's put on some suspenseful music here. I bet we can all guess where this story is going. The cyclist lined up, and when he had the chance, he flew past the Tesla. Then the road became very steep, and the cyclist really went for it. He gathered speed and pushed toward the car in front of Luda. When he caught up to it, he made an unsafe pass on a blind corner. Thankfully, there weren't any oncoming cars, and he kept picking up speed. When they approached the next hairpin turn, the cyclist entered it with way too much speed and finally crashed. Luckily, he was back on his feet within seconds. They all stopped to make sure he was okay, and he was. Always wear a helmet, people.
Hope you're satisfied.